I came to Lamar as a biology major, and then I made a terrible decision by trying to chase a dream, and then chase a dream I did. Made it over to a communication major, found myself in the broadcasting program, and inevitably, as all broadcasting students do, I ended up at LUTV. Intro to broadcasting, I took a trip down here and had my first introduction to the space. And from there, I don't think I left. I started hanging out between classes. If I was ever on campus and I didn't have anywhere else to go, I would come to the TV station and just hang out and try to learn things. I would get my hands on like the switchboard. I would mess around with the audio. I would just be in the environment.
Okay, well, coming up after the break, we'll show you the challenges of growing old.
We'll be right back.
From there, I was pretty much emotionally invested at that point. So when I started taking LUTV News, it was proper. It was not a big deal to me at all at that point. I was pretty well institutionalized by this place. And it all just became this one, it just became a big part of my identity. I just hung out at LUTV and I did things for LUTV and I worked with people at LUTV. I hosted LUTV on Fox, which was another big step for me because I actually hadn't really done any on-camera work at that point, although I was interested in it. I had never tried out and just kept going from there, and I made myself known. Even when I was a student, I'm gonna be honest. Let's be real. Let's be very honest here. I was not that great of a student at LUTV. I was going through a lot at the time. You know, I was emotionally not in the best place. I wasn't very sure of myself. I wasn't very confident in my abilities. I was an average student at best, but I wanted to be better. And I didn't know how to be better. But the people around me did. The people around me were very successful. So I would be around these individuals who were doing well in the class, and I would see how they would take care of themselves. And I would see how they organized themselves or how they would attack an individual package or a project.
LUTV News reporter Jonathan Tippett and his sidekick photographer rolled into downtown Beaumont in their red hot rod and revved up this story.
I eventually went from doing sort of background tasks into the director position, and that was really the big step. That's when a lot of things started changing. I really started to get into a groove. You know, I started working with people and learning how to guide them without being overbearing, because that's a very important skill to learn. And lo and behold, about the time that I was getting ready for graduation, wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with myself, wasn't really sure where I wanted to go, where I wanted to apply, if I wanted to go to a news station, if I wanted to go more into radio. A job opportunity opened up right here at Lamar as a studio assistant for LUTV News. And I was encouraged to apply, and apply that I did. And I went to graduation on a Friday as a bright-eyed young Lamar graduate. And I went to work as a Lamar employee on the following Monday.
LUTV News reporter Jonathan Tippett brings us a story about authentic German food in Vider.
Students will come in, and this isn't a mean thing or anything bad towards them. It's just that their expectations aren't necessarily what the reality of being a reporter is. They might have an idea in their head that does not match the actual experience of going out and doing these reports and being in the field and coming back and editing them together. But I have been in their exact position. I have done it, and I have come out the other side as, I would say, a relatively successful individual. This means that whenever I hear certain excuses that I also had to deal with, then I can impart better advice on how to deal with them. And that helps because not only are you coming from a place of understanding and wanting them to improve, you've also experienced it, and that gives you a better rapport with the students you're working with. Because then it's not you telling them something that you read out of a book, it's something that you did. I had the good fortune of having a great professor in LUTV and working with Gordon, of course. These people influenced me as a student, and I took those lessons that I learned from them. I took what they spoke to me and what I took in and what was the most significant thing I can now pass on to more students. I learned video editing through LUTV. I never actually took the editing courses here at Lamar because I had learned so much at LUTV at that point that I was very proficient, and I had learned it working here. I learned it in the field, so to speak, in the studio, I guess. And that's a big part of who I am now. I do a lot of editing now. I do editing for LUTV Productions. I've done freelance editing, been paid for my work, working for various organizations and production companies and things like that. And that's sort of like what my passion is now, is definitely on the post-production end. And now I'm an adjunct professor for digital editing here at Lamar because I'm proficient in editing, and that all started here at LUTV. Welcome to LUTV News in Focus, where we feature interesting topics on campus, in the community, and in the world of culture. LUTV News in Focus has been one of the most enjoyable things that I've done, I would say. Probably one of my favorite parts. I always get excited whenever there's a new interview coming up. So these interviews have been an opportunity for me to express myself creatively. They've been an opportunity for me to get to know topics that I had no clue about. Sometimes I'm interviewing someone, I don't know anything about what they do, what their work is about, and that's why the interview takes place. The audience doesn't know either, so you can act as an avatar, as a surrogate for the audience to learn that information. And in the process, you're learning something too. And thank you for watching LUTV News. I don't know if I will be at LUTV News for the rest of my life or if I will move on to different pastures, but I can say that it will be with me for the rest of my life. We like to say around here that your reputation starts here, because there are people out there in the world in all walks of life who have been through this. They might not all be in the broadcasting field anymore. Some of them are teachers, and some of them are business professionals, or they're in marketing or in some field that couldn't seem farther from where they started. But if you talk to someone who's been through LUTV News and they find that out, there's an instant connection. And that connection will be with you forever.